Good day, everyone. This is Charles Fockaert with part two of why the U.S. currency will soon become worthless. Before we move on to new material, I'd like to do a little review of the material that we covered in the last slide show. And this is the silver certificate, and this is a promise to pay. This particular silver certificate promises to pay the bearer on demand $1 silver. And we learned in the last video that the term dollar is actually a unit of measurement, and that is comprised of 371 and 1/4 parts of pure silver. And some people are confused on that. I'm sorry, I'm gonna back up a little bit and explain this a little bit more. A a unit of measurement, the dollar is comprised of, as it says here, 371 and 416 parts of pure silver, just like a month is composed of a certain number of weeks, an hour is composed of 60 minutes, a year is composed of 12 months, a dollar is composed of this many parts of pure silver. It is nothing more than a unit of measurement. It is nothing in it. It's not something in and of itself. It's something we use to measure, in this case, silver. And a Federal Reserve note, as we showed in the last video, is nothing more than a promise to pay. This note says it will pay to the bearer on demand $10, but it never describes, it never tells you, it never shows you on the note itself what it's going to pay you. And we learned that a note is evidence of an IOU. Somebody owes the holder of this note money, real money, but we're going to see in this video that we're not being paid real money in exchange for the Federal Reserve notes. It's a big scam, folks. And we're not paid gold. We're not paid silver. We're not even paid money, as we're going to see. But we're paid another promise to pay, another note, more debt. So let's look at what is money. We can go back 5,000 years to get a description of money. In the Bible, in the first book, in chapter 23, we have the three elements of money. In order to have money, real money, we need three elements, and the first being the quantity symbol. Back in Genesis, the number that's being used is 400. The note that the Federal Reserve note that we use has the number 10 on it. The second element that's needed to comprise money, for us to have money, is a real money, is a unit of measurement. And that's where we described, we went to the Coinage Act of 1792, which defines a dollar. In the time of Abram, in Genesis chapter 23, it was a shekel. A shekel is not a coin, it's a unit of measurement. So in the third element needed to comprise money, real money, is a substance. In the case of Abram, it was silver, and in our case, there is no substance to our currency. As mentioned previously, our currency, in fact, all of the world's currencies, are based upon credit. The word credit is a Latin word, credere, meaning belief, confidence. Unlike gold and silver, intangible, credit is intangible. It's an intangible belief that cannot be touched, cannot be smelled, cannot be seen, cannot be heard. unlike gold and silver, which you can hold in your hand. Credit is not a substance, it's a belief. It's faith in something intangible. So for the last 40 years and for the first time in world history, all of the world's paper currencies are backed by nothing but belief, nothing but faith. We have faith in these currencies, and that's the only thing keeping these currencies in operation. This is a very important fact that you need to wrap your mind around. How long before the people of the world lose their belief in their currencies? We already have seen the problems in Iceland from the printing of too much money and the excessive debt. We see the same problem in Ireland, Greece, and now Spain and Italy. Who's next? How long before the world loses faith in the world's reserve currency, the U.S. Federal Reserve note? Unpleasant realities that we almost face. Iraq started taking payments for its oil in non-U.S. currency. Iraq began to lose faith in the U.S. Federal Reserve note, and what happened to Iraq? Libya started taking payment for its oil in non-U.S. currency, and what happened to Libya? Iran has started taking payments for its oil in non-U.S. currency. What will happen to Iran? Japan, China, Russia have all started, and India have all started conducting business between each other in their own nation's currencies. What will happen to these countries? We're in a situation now where the rest of the world increasingly has lost its confidence in the U.S. currency. How long before the American people lose their faith in the Federal Reserve note? How much longer, folks? They, the Fed, don't have a solution. Eventually, you'll see a collapse here in the U.S. of the dollar, where the dollar becomes worthless. Again, that was John Williams, economist. In the 1960s, let's go back for a little history lesson. 1960s, President Johnson started the Great Society program, also known as the War on Poverty, and it's still going on today, folks, 40 years later, and we still haven't won that war, have we? They also escalated the Vietnam War, and we didn't win that war either, but that's for another video. At that time, back in the 1960s, the U.S. Federal Reserve note was the world's reserve currency. However, because there were no longer any redeemable gold certificates, as we saw in the first video, silver certificates or silver coins, there no longer existed any restraint on the printing or the creation of currency. Foreign nations such as France and Germany, concerned about the depreciation of the U.S. currency, started demanding the redemption of the U.S. currency into gold. Can anyone there remember what year did Richard Nixon take the United States off the international gold standard? If you knew it was 1971, again, I would give you a piece of chocolate if we were here live. From 1971 forward, because the US dollar is the world's reserve currency, there has been nothing of substance backing any of the world's currencies. Folks, I want to reiterate that. That's 40 years of unbacked paper currencies being used all over the world. The first time in world history that no currency in the world is being backed by any substance. Historically, every unbacked paper currency has eventually failed. Do you think the Federal Reserve note will be the one exception? U.S. government expenditures, unconstrained, have increased in the last 10 years, just off the chart, folks. And the U.S. M1 money supply has increased from 1971, when we went off the gold standard, all the way up to 2011, 2012. It's off the chart again. Look at the red ink. I've had to change. Last time I gave this, I had to change this to 15 million. And then since then, I think it's gone up to $16 trillion in red ink, folks. Central banks are printing money all over the world. New names are being used, of course: quantitative easing, long-term financing operation, U.S. ECB, and Fed swaps. Estimated global money supply has increased again off the chart. We have our own, in the United States here, we have our own helicopter ban. Ron Paul asked Mr. Bernanke, do you think gold is money? Mr. Bernanke looked straight in his face and said, no. I encourage you to look for this 1 minute video on the internet and we'll watch it. Mr. Bernanke is lying. Question: would you be better off today had you saved one silver coin each month for the last 5 years? Remember, it's those who had the silver and gold back in 1930s who made a profit, and those who did not lost. So another question to ask yourself: will you be better off in 5 years if you save one silver coin each month for the next 5 years? The historical foundation I've just shown you, I believe, is necessary to fully appreciate the business opportunity you are about to see, which uh, when I give this presentation, and I've given this presentation in the Rotary clubs, but here we will end this. This is end of part 2 of why the U.S. currency will soon become worthless. Be sure to watch the presentation that I give on Numis Network on how to turn your soon-to-be worthless paper currency into silver and gold coins and earn income at the same time. There are many more facts that could be shown as to why the world's currency, including the Federal Reserve note, will soon be worthless. We've just scratched the surface. Please, don't ignore all the warning signs all around you. Take steps to protect yourself today, your family, and your friends from the historical events happening in your time. Again, this has been Charles Fockaert. Thank you for watching. I'll see you again next time. Bye.